What is up, Zelda Speedruns? We have more A Link to the Past All Dungeons are restricted major glitches tournament matches for you today. So today we've got Doomtap versus caznode coming up today. I've got M. Kozla and Greenham today on commentary. Say hello.
Hello.
You two?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Just a little bit of a pre-note before this match starts. We have another All Dungeons tournament match coming up in about 1.5 hours. The channel of that has not been decided yet. If this finishes in time, it will be on this channel. If not, it will be on ZeldaSpeedRuns too. That will be decided later around the decision of this match time. But this match will be starting soon, so I'll be passing it right back to our beautiful commentators. Good luck and have fun.
Yo, thank you so much, George. Appreciate the intro and the restream, as always. We have an absolute fire matchup for you this evening between Doomtap and caznode. Both of these runners have excellent PBs at the top of the leaderboard. Factoring in blue balls, they pretty much have exactly equivalent time, so this should be an excellent match, and I am very excited for it, and I'm sure you are too, Kozler.
Absolutely. Two fantastic runners. Kaz really showing up over the past basically since this tourney started, chopped off, I don't know what, 5 minutes from his previous PB. And Doom, one of our stalwarts in the community, always on, always grinding on some category. Currently, I believe he's doing low percent legacy in his current grind, but we're in all dungeons restricted major glitches right now.
Indeed, yeah. I'm really excited for this matchup because of kind of that fact that you mentioned that both these runners have been playing the game quite a bit recently. Even though Doom has kind of branched out to other categories, it's always nice to see a race where both players are really fresh and have been playing the category quite a bit. So it should be very exciting, though this particular segment that we're watching right now may not be.
Right. So I've been in the community for a decent amount of time now, but you're definitely an old stalwart. Caznode started playing before I initially got in here. How long has Kaz been playing?
As far as I know, Node's been playing before me too. He's an
really?
If you're calling me an old boy, he is a senior citizen boy. So yeah, Node's been around for a long time and kind of a runner that I've kind of always looked up to. Honestly, he's always put out some really solid times in every category that he approaches and takes on, and just plays really solidly, and also just has one of the finest layouts on Twitch, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely, it's always fun to catch about an eighth of a frame of whatever nonsense old movie he's got going on.
Yeah.
And Doom started probably pretty close to when I was first starting, and he's definitely been a long time grinder of this game, as I was mentioning before. Someone who consistently is streaming in the morning, in the afternoon, trying out different categories, even when something isn't when the main categories of the game aren't really piquing his interest, goes out and does random weird categories like routing Cold Stare RTA at one point so that he can get world record in that.
Yeah, I mean, despite what you may hear in his stream sometimes, he really does enjoy the game a lot. And I think anyone who puts any significant amount of time into any category kind of has to really have a deep love for this game and the ins and outs of it. So, yeah,
absolutely.
So that's a bunch of accolades that we've thrown at you, in a reason to stay tuned and watch this match. But a little bit of the story of how these runners got to this round. They both went 2-1 in their group stage. Doom came out of groups with an average time of 1:12:09, giving him the number 4 seed. Caznode had an average time of 1:14:55, giving him the number 20 seed. Thus, we do have the 420 Blaze It matchup for you.
Oh, baby.
Doom defeated Ace Zero in the first round to get to round 2 here, and then Node actually took down Fricker, who was an excellent runner in his own right to get to round 2. So it's been quite the path and journey to get to this spot. And this is a double elimination tournament. So the winner of this match will end up playing the winner of the match between Andy and myself, actually. And the loser would then go on to play the loser of whatever that match would be between Andy and myself. I honestly low-key and kind of hoping that I get to play Node again. Not that I'm rooting against him or anything, but it would be kind of cool to meet up again. Either way, I guess, in either the winners or the losers bracket. So.
I was going to say something and then I completely lost it, getting enraptured in your story there. Oh, caznode showing us already the just how tough this tournament is, having to go through such a high quality player like Fricker22, having to already put him into the losers bracket and then immediately having to follow it up facing off against our number 4 seed. Pretty tough road for caznode, but he's certainly easily capable of knocking this one down. Yeah,
absolutely. It's honestly, between runners who are at this skill level, it's kind of a coin flip, and it's going to be kind of just a matter of who ends up getting screwed over less, honestly, because I think both of these guys are going to play pretty solidly. At least that is my hope. So
I do want to point out a super nice adjustment there from Doom. Had the two rats next to each other, and both of them ended up dropping an item in Doom with the wherewithal to toss that boom diagonally to just guarantee that he doesn't get doesn't accidentally pick up the rupee.
Yeah, that's a good call out there. That's not something. That's kind of a smaller thing that you wouldn't necessarily see every single runner doing. So nice heads up play there from Doom. So we're finally done with Escape. Now we can get on to slightly more exciting things, though we don't actually have the boots just yet. But once we do finish up Eastern Palace here and get those boots, we will really get this speed run going. But pretty decent escapes for both, 55 for Doom and a 54 for caznode. So pretty much neck and neck still here on the way to Eastern. And
I'm not sure about
our citrus here.
About our runners, their citrus situations. They're both close enough in time that if they're trying to find an edge, looks like looks like they're both going to do it. I know Doom is one of the few interesting players that does a boom buffers instead of sword buffers, and nails it first try. Kaz very quickly behind him, so both very good citruses from our boys here. As long as you're hitting below, well, I guess the stream can't see it, but as long as you're hitting below 117 on your segment timer, that's a good citrus.
Yeah, really solid entry times for both there. Definitely saving time over going the normal route there. So solid decisions by both the runners there. Node, unfortunately, did take an octave hit, but will be grabbing up a heart here to get him back to full health. Oh, nice. Node grabbing the magic there. That's a very, very small time save. Somewhere around the vicinity of like 3 frames. And that's assuming that, you do the movement well and boom it perfectly, because you're trying to save time on the refill at the end of the dungeon, because the magic meter has to fill up completely before you get to that part. So just saving a few frames there by grabbing that magic.
Yeah, that one of the things with speedrunning this game is there's a lot of theoretical time saves that people definitely talk about, especially if you're hanging out in the Discord or the many Discords that we have for this game, if we're going to be honest. But actual execution to get those time saves, to have them meet that theoretical time save, doesn't always end up working out. If you don't notice and take too long, or throw the boom in a weird way, or whatever, or even whiff the thing, going for all the minute time saves that you can be doing throughout this game could end up not really saving you what theory says it's going to. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you'll sometimes
I think
see people.
speedrunners.
Yeah, go for it.
I think speedrunners of this game often kind of turn into like mini actuarial scientists, where they have
Yeah.
to do this risk reward analysis all the time, and you have to kind of constantly be evaluating that. And I think the best runners are really, really good at that. And I think that's kind of an overlooked skill sometimes. I mean, the raw skill of runners is always pretty obvious because you can kind of see it there on the screen and how clean the movement is. But some of that subtle stuff doesn't really get talked about a lot. So I'm glad it's getting brought up here.
Both runners not meeting the unfortunate fate of Lynxion with the too fast anti-fairy room, though both runners getting clipped by the...
Ooh, Doom's got to be kind of careful here. He's down to half a heart.
Anything touching him from here, well, I guess he's going to pick up that heart there, but anything touching him would have killed him.
Good patience, though, to kind of wait it out and make sure that he was going to be at least healthy going into this fight here. Does only have 20 arrows rolling in, though, so that is going to have an effect a little bit later on.
Both of our runners actually in a little low arrow situation. Neither of them got any lucky drops from the red Igors that they had to kill. You would like to have 7, at least 7. That means that you should be able to go through all of Palace of Darkness without having to pick up any extra arrows. So we'll see when these runners do make their trip into Pod, where they decide to pick up their extra arrows. Yep,
absolutely. Looks like we got about a 5-second difference between the two runners coming out of Eastern here. Node with the slight lead. We do have to make a small pit stop here to talk to Saha and grab some bombs, which will be very, very important throughout the route. And we've already kind of mentioned arrows a little bit already, that we have to consider the item routing through here. Arrows are definitely an important thing, but bombs are super, super important for this route. And not having the proper amount throughout the run can really lose you a lot of time in spots if you have to go grab some backups that you wouldn't normally have to. Otherwise, nice chest turn from Node there. Get your links W's in chat,
Get
please.
your links W's in chat. Now, we're talking about the speedrun, but the all-important chest turn sub-game already coming out. I feel Doom is much more of a no-nonsense runner.
I'd agree.
So we might just see Kaz run away with this, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm going to give the early edge to Node for sure. He's definitely a bit of a memer, so I think he likes his chest turns and he'll be doing them. Some pretty clean DMAs there. We are getting up this mountain here without actually having the gloves that we need, which is very cool. Skip over a lot of content and get to the mirror immediately. And then we're going to be dipping right into Palace of Darkness and sitting at 5 hearts here. Palace of Darkness, honestly, is the major pain point for this category and the point of so many resets. So we are going to be paying a lot of attention here to how these runners are doing throughout the dungeon and managing their health for the Helmosaur fight.
Node taking a hit by one of those cabbages. Where one of the cool things with this tournament, with this whole new DMA Kiki stuff, is it made this whole section with getting up and getting your mirror and then getting to Palace of Darkness just so much safer in comparison to what you had to do before. I know I didn't play much of this particular category, but I played a ton of any percent RMG. It used to be called No EG, and just all the pain that you can get just from having to run next to those dead rocks and boulders on Death Mountain, even for just a very small amount of time, can really make your pods super annoying.
Yeah, for sure. Those new glitches being discovered were were really a blessing for this segment. But
Mm-hmm.
that still really doesn't make it any less scary when you walk into Helma sitting on 4 hearts, you know. So we did see that we have slightly different health situations here, but it is still possible for both of them to get back up to full health before the boss, which is the main thing we'll be looking at. We're going to see if they opt to grab the drop down arrows here, or
this is the first
potentially
shot.
they will be doing a different strategy in Mimics to grab some more. It looks like Jim opted for those arrows, but Node skipped them, so he'll hopefully be doing that some sort of backup in Mimics to where he'll be grabbing a pot of arrows in there.
Yeah, the Mimics backup, it's honestly seems a lot easier than it actually is. If you haven't put any actual practice into it, it's not something you can really wing. So Doom taking the slower arrows, but not having to worry about it. Also, should note, Kaz decided to just not even pick up. At least I believe he decided to not pick up the heart when he first entered Pod.
You're right. He did skip over that. And I saw him pick up the bomb first, and honestly thought, oh, he did get a heart drop here on the bridge, but unfortunately, really, really far up there, so it'd be kind of dangerous to kind of go after that heart and then try to come back down and get in position for this hammer jump here. Doom buffering a little bit to get to it, but they both nail it just fine. 2 hearts here for Node, so he'll be picking up all 3, whereas Doom has 2.5, so he only needs to grab 2 pots there to be able to take 2 hits from the boss and still survive.
Node kind of pot committed himself when he did the buffer to mirror. If you're going to pick up that heart, you'd rather just wait, pick up the heart, and then do your buffer to mirror when you're coming back down for your to try to line up your second position. So here we go. Here is Node doing some variation of the backup there.
Yeah, you saw that he had to grab one of those pots to actually get the number of arrows that he needs to, whereas Doom actually gets a nice drop there in the door as he's passing through. So Node ended up losing a little bit of time there to having to both grab the backup and then not actually getting any more arrows here. Like I said earlier, arrows aren't the biggest concern. You can actually just completely run out of arrows after this segment and be totally fine, but your bomb count, super important. You both want to be sitting on 9 bombs here, and they both are, so we're all set, at least in that department.
Doom running into my big issue whenever I should do OK Boomer, just whiffing the top gopher there. I don't know what you would actually call it.
No, it's a gopher now, for sure.
or whack-a-mole, you know.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to be paying very close attention to these Helmosaur fights. It's going to be kind of quiet during them and just kind of watch. Make sure that they don't take any more damage than necessary. Node going for no sword out, whereas Doom looks like he is holding his sword out for the extra safety. Node is onto phase 2. Oh, takes a hit.
It's 1 hit. It's totally fine. He can take 1 more before it gets really scary, but nice finishing off.
Okay, Doom is into phase 2 now. Ooh, that is a really bad spot for Helmosaur to be. It's super tough to get those right side hammers in. So it does release a spin there for some extra safety. Yeah,
he did another defensive spin earlier, so all he needed was 3 helm hits. Yeah, when Helma gets stuck way on that left side, it's a lot harder to hit from the right side, or I don't know if it's necessarily harder, but you're way more used to hitting from the left side than you are from the right side. We do have strategies such as hammer poke dashes and stuff like that, which sort of extend your hurt box even more. But those things can be kind of hard to just switch to in the middle if you're not already set up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But honestly, really well handled and I would say very intelligent fights from both runners. You can tell that they have both put a lot of practice into that boss and know the ins and outs and what they can and can't do and the limits that they can push with their health in that fight. Because you can take, like I said, you can take 2 hits and kind of use that fact to your advantage that you can take a hit and still be fine if you know how to utilize that properly.
Also, just you kind of brought it up a little bit, but just the intelligence of knowing Doom was at 2.5 hearts, and knowing that everything else in Pod was going to do some multiple of a whole heart. So not going and picking up the third heart when he could have picked up the third heart in Sexy Statue Room, and just saying, hey, okay, I'll just pick up these two, save myself a good second there. And I'll be basically just as healthy as if I went and picked up all of them.
Absolutely. So let's see, coming out of Pod there, looks like Node had an 1820, whereas Doom had an 1834, so 14-second separation for the runners right now, and we are in the auto-scroller of A Link to the Past, and not much exciting going on here, so...
Both of our runners getting in with the boom dashes, though neither of them get to take the coffee break, though.
How does everyone take their coffee, since we got nothing else to talk about?
I've been not much of a coffee drinker for, I don't know, the past 8 years, so I can't even
You're
really
an
tell you.
engineer?
Yeah, I'm still on that soda life.
Okay. With a pot and spin speed, yo-ho. so desperate to see his meme tricks.
Andrew's on that hashtag sponsored life. Meanwhile, seeing our runners make their way up to the second bomb jump in the category. I don't know if Doom goes for early bomb jump or not.
Something tells me that even if he does, he wouldn't probably do it in this race. I was watching him practice a little bit before.
He's been doing already.
This race started.
Okay, no.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Spin setup for the win. Very nice. Both runners on 2 hearts. I don't think either hit the safety switch. Obviously, no didn't. I don't think Doom did.
Doom using mini buffer there to set up for the small clip.
All right, Node's hammer molder fight going well so far. Gets the third hit in, and we're done with that.
Pretty textbook.
Hopefully we see the same out of Doom here.
Doom with a nice quick hop with no mini there. That's something that I am not great at.
How did he get that hit in? Yeah, he's getting a lot of really bad left side boss RNGs here. With Helmet previously, and now Moldarm hugging the left side of the hole, but he handles it pretty well. That hammer hitbox was pretty favorable with the left hammer there. So the one that's kind of shitty to deal with is when you're doing any north hammers. The hitbox is a little bit smaller, so tough to deal with. But both of them through the fight, and we're on the way to Thieves Town.
Very easy to miss, but nice little manual stair lag cancel there from Doom at the end of that.
Oh, he gets the big hop over the bush.
Ooh, baby.
And the spin dash afterwards. That's the hardest part.
Showing off all the little, like we talked about, just the little frame savers that are all throughout this run. That are what lets you get times like a 1:10:43. Looking at both of our runners, just keeping tail of the tape going. Caznode finishing Hera with a 21:39. Doom with a 21:58, so 19 seconds difference. Kaz still gaining a little bit of time over Doom.
Interesting that they've both already taken 2 hearts of damage. Doom just about took some more right there. This dungeon honestly is kind of dangerous. Normally, like the MG playthrough, we have the Master Sword here, so killing a lot of these enemies that we dash through isn't really a big deal. little bit tougher
Mhm.
here, and a lot of the enemies hit for 2 hearts. So Node had a little bit of struggles there in the hellway. Took a little more damage and is now down to 3.5 hearts. What was that hammer puffer? No, dude.
Speaking of the fighter sword,
Holy moly!
clearly thought that he would have been good enough with just some slashes,
Yeah,
but not doing nearly enough
that
to these
is
Dark
why.
World gremlins.
That is why I always hammer those assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those jerks don't look like much, but they do 2 hearts of damage, just the same as a lot of the other enemies in here and a lot of the bigger ones. So, really unfortunate death there for Node. Honestly, not the worst one he could have taken, but not the best one either. So
It's pretty high up there on deaths in Thieves Town that you could fail from.
for
And
sure.
then having trouble here. Even those little jellies do 2 hearts of damage to you, and we're already right back to the 1 health from caznode.
Yeah, and we're gonna hope that he remembers to mirror afterwards to fix his fake dark world state. Otherwise, he's going to run into some issues when he tries to transition the screen a little bit later. So what you would normally do is wait until after you've gone through the bombable hut and then mirror. At that point, some runners will opt to just do it immediately so that they get it out of the way and don't forget, which is definitely a concern. But Node's still sitting on 1 heart through here. He does have the attic blown open now, so now he just has to grab the maiden and head back up. Meanwhile, Doom looks pretty healthy.
Yep. We've been speaking of that hammer hitbox, we've been keeping our eye pretty much on Kaz because he's been giving us the good lord, he's been giving us the ride of our life. But yeah, Doom's been going through Thieves Town pretty well.
Oh my god. Okay, all right. We're at 3 hearts now. As long as he doesn't get hit here.
Yep.
Okay, doesn't get sniped. Meanwhile, Doom is taking care of blind. No worries on the fight.
As Anders would point out, blind is a scripted fight.
Yep. Anders and only Anders would ever say that. Okay, so Node is about to head into the blind fight as well, but he does, as we mentioned, still have to fix that fake dark world state. So, but let's make sure he doesn't die here first. It is a scripted fight, but it can definitely go off the rails sometimes, and you don't want to be ad-libbing during this.
Absolutely. Especially only at 3 hearts. It's just a single bullet plus one of the heads hitting you, and you're done. But he gets through it cleanly.
Yeah. No worries. I'm pretty sure Doom will be doing Frog Door, right? I think he goes for that.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty sure Node does.
Do not know if either of our runners happen to have the other runner up on stream or not. But yeah, it looks like we are seeing. Ooh, no, we're not. We're seeing the Just Press A.
Nice, dude.
Just Press A plus Frog plus. Well, I guess not Frog Door, but
this is a hell of a combo strat here.
I guess if you're not pressing A on the way back, you don't get any chance for the soft.
This is brilliant, actually. Why doesn't everyone do this?
It's brilliant but Just Press A is a pretty darn difficult strat, especially compared to Frog Door.
Did Node mirror yet?
I have not seen a mirror, so we're going to see probably some issues right here. We'll see if he knows what to do. It's going to be a mirror and then a run back to the Dark World portal.
Yep. That's really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the things that you're gonna.
Oh, you got to go north, Node.
Yeah, one of the things that you don't often practice. Could have
Yeah.
gone the other way. Yeah,
I think most
yeah.
runners who probably die to blind just end up resetting
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, this is one of those things that if you've never experienced it before, you're trying to figure it out on the fly. And you just don't know what to do, and it's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it's unfortunate.
But I think we'll get there eventually. Oh no, this guy. This is the last thing we need right now. Come on.
The thief. Oh
Man, the frustration. I can just see it. And
Yep.
I totally understand what Node is going through right now.
No idea what to do. Looking in the SRL chat, it looks like caznode has actually forfeited the race.
Dang, that's one of those things that you really hate to see. You don't. I mean, boss deaths happen. You know that those sort of things happen. But this category also has a whole other host of issues and potential soft locks and hard locks that can be thrown at you. So it's definitely a very tough category, and especially when things go wrong and you're trying to recover from those things. It can be very frustrating. So I 100% sympathize with Node and his desire to forfeit, unfortunate as it may be. So, but much love to Node for showing up and putting on a good show for the first half hour.
Yeah, it's definitely. There are a lot of different things that you can do that allow you to work around some of the issues. Some of them, the hard locks, there's really nothing that you can do about it. But some of them we do have some strategies that you can look at and go for. But really, it's just about how much time you have to prepare. Everyone who's running this this tournament. This isn't our livelihood. We're doing it just sort of on our own volition for fun. So just figuring out the things that you need to figure out, the tricks that go into the actual run, and not necessarily having all of the backups like a Rolodex in your head is completely understandable.
Yeah, for sure. This game has millions of things to remember, and no one knows it all for sure. But Doomtap still does have to finish out this run, so at the very least, we will be seeing an all dungeons restricted major glitches run completed by him if all goes well. And as we said earlier, we do have another race slotted for just right after this one, which will most likely be on this channel as well. So do stick around for that as well. But Doom really not on the worst run here. He is was plus 17 after Thieves Town, so I'm sure he would say it's hot garbage, but still a really decent run and easy 111 pace for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he has some time potential to save in this Skullwood segment, so I didn't quite see what his catch time was, but it looks like he might squeeze out a second. Nah, a little ahead.
I'm gonna keep it pretty close though. I guess now would be a good time to mention that this category did get selected for the mini Games Done Quick Marathon that is happening this weekend.
The COVID benefit marathon.
Yeah.
Ooh, we did see. Did we see a soft lock there from Doom?
Yeah, he went to do the hair clip and jumped to the wrong spot, so had to save him quite out of it. But yeah, this weekend there will be another all dungeons race between resident admin and shitposter Apathy Duck 07. We'll be taking on Andy of Twitch.tv fame.
Yeah, salute to you, Apathy Duck, really, for taking on the one and only Andy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And the order is important. Yeah, apologies. Abyss, unfortunately, Kaz died in Thieves Town, and Thieves Town is one of the few dungeons that is actually affected by what we call the fake Dark World state. Since we haven't actually beaten Aghanim yet, the game really doesn't know what to do with you after you die and what your state is, so it kind of thinks you're in this weird hybrid state of both Light World and Dark World. So when he hit the transition point, the game just kind of gave up and said, okay, you're in Light World, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't, use
it. Puts you in a really weird palette, similar in idea to what you're seeing here. Not the exact same, but yeah, it puts you in a really weird palette that'll sort of give you a big flashing light that says, hey, something's wrong here. You can fix it by going to the Dark World. Do you have to mirror first before going to the Dark World? Or can you just go straight to the Dark World?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just go in the portal and then
the actual Dark World portal.
Yes. Why is Doom's screen so blurry? Do not adjust your monitors. That is just the way it is. That is his vintage quality gameplay.
Doom on the potato internet, living in the potato of Canada, just has to deal with the internet. Seeing a nice bomb clip coming from Doom.
Solid Mire entry as well. Now this set of segments here is, I mean, you've seen a lot of clips and kind of crazy stuff already, but this is where it kind of really kicks into high gear, and this just becomes like an absolute gauntlet of glitches that we have to go through here from all those entry clips that you just saw, and then once we actually get into Mire itself, we'll actually be visiting a couple other dungeons while the game still thinks we're in Mire. So. Definitely stay tuned for that segment.
Yeah, we take advantage of a lot of weird programming things, bit masking, all sorts of nonsense to allow us to sort of easily navigate through these other dungeons. Absolute sick chest turn coming there from Doomtap. The dash into chest turn on that Desert Big Key, one of the hardest things to do in the game.
No memeing, it really is.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to press two buttons at the same time, so frame perfect button input, and it has to be frame perfect on the frame that you make that input. And at no point, like, you can have a setup to get onto the right frame for dashing if you just don't move out of the door. But if you ever have to like readjust or anything like that, or move any bit before you exit that door, then you might just not even be able to hit that frame in the full dash. So
yeah, just some high octane premiere gameplay coming out of Doomtap here, putting on a show for y'all. Now we get some Fire Rod Lambo. Gonna be hoping for a one cycle, obviously.
Revenge for all the horrible NMG Lanmos that you have to deal with. But Lanmo has the last laugh in this particular fight.
Unlucky. That's just some bad RNG. The worm decided to dive down a little too quickly. It's not just lately, Duck. The secret is that it's been this way all along. You just haven't realized it until now.
Not just lately, not just laterly, as our admin put it.
Right. All right, so we're gonna be getting into Mire proper now, and this is just a lot of fun to watch when this segment is executed really well. Lots of clips, lots of different dungeons that we'll be seeing, as I mentioned earlier, and then potentially maybe some new tech. Does Doom do the Mire bomb jump? Do you know?
I believe he does, but I'm not 100% positive.
I would expect now that he knows that Node has forfeited, he might loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe go for some stuff that he wouldn't normally otherwise. Hopefully we see some more damn chest turns. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hopefully see one on the hook shot. And yes, I said hook shot, and I didn't mean the Canis of Maria. We will be clipping our way into Swamp Palace in this segment while we're still in Mire, and we'll be grabbing a few keys here along the way to help us with that routing, as well as the big key from Mire itself that we'll use to open the big chest in Swamp.
We're trying to beat the fireball there. It's pretty tough to do. Is getting the key early usually a sign for not going for the bomb jump? It's actually faster to wait to get the key on your second trip through if you are going for the bomb jump, but still is a possibility, just with a slightly less efficient route.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we got a 40-37-ish torches coming in from Doomtap, so definitely still on a pretty solid pace. Doomtap commentary. I was drunk.
Yep.
Didn't even save it for after the run. Which is very on brand, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. We'll see it here if he does decide to go for it. And he does not. Leaving us all wanting.
Yeah. Sad but understandable. You know, it is a very precise trick, and can lose health and time as a result from failing it, and also a bomb. So, as I said earlier, those are pretty precious through here, and you're about to see why, because we're going to see a rapid series of clips coming up here, starting with this room.
He does get the nice bomb drop from the slug there. He was on, I believe he was on the perfect number of bombs, 6s. Perfect from here to the end, so he's got at least one extra.
Nice bonk setup there to dash into the bomb and get blasted into the wall. And reactivates the clipping to send himself through very nicely. I don't know what that... I guess he does that dash maybe to delay falling into the hole, but you don't need to do that, actually. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, this one can be a little more finicky. Oh, using some more dash buffers there. It's very interesting. I used to be a big fan of using dash buffers for all of that stuff, but he also did a few sword clips, so maybe he's comfy with some for some types of adjustments and not for others. So, kind of an interesting little hybrid strat coming up from Doom there.
One of the things interesting to me is when doing this in a nice chest turn, the absolute has to happen chest turn for this category, or your run
he actually
is frowned upon.
He would have been forfeiting the match, beating.
What was I going to say? One thing I've never actually quite figured out is why, when you first clip from Hera to Swamp, you have that sort of brown palette, but then when you walk into the center room, the palette fixes itself, and now it looks like Swamp.
I'm gonna go ahead and just checks human with that question.
Oh,
Yo, oh,
trying for the hover there to save a little bit of time.
There really isn't that much harm, I suppose, in failing it either. I mean, you do lose the heart, but you aren't necessarily always going to be on full hearts there anyway if you don't get the drop in Meyer 2.
Right. I've actually heard one of the things that I didn't quite think about until somebody brought this up to me was it's really something that you should only go for if you happen to get a heart when you're in Meyer 2 the second time through.
Yeah, that's the reason to do it is to preserve your heart, so you have beams towards the end, so you can just beam that crystal switch as opposed to throwing the pot at it.
Saves you.
If you fail it, I mean, you have to fail. You have to fall off of the bridge anyway at some point.
Right.
So. Meyer 2 Furious, please no. I'm fine with the Swan Lake or Meyer. What do we call it? Meyer Lake. I don't remember. Scrivo or Steven, where are you at? I need you to explain this joke again. Nice spooky
I have
action.
no idea what joke you're talking about.
Meyer 2-2.
Yeah,
Swan Lake.
But I don't get why it's called Swan Lake. Oh, because it's a 2-2?
2-2, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that is a Steven
the fact that I
IRL
said Steven IRL should tipped you off.
Level joke.
All right. Nice viddy fight from Doomtap. Can be scary at times. I died in one of my recent runs to it. Not a fun time. Loses you a lot of time, but Doom getting through it cleanly.
So, Ham, since we're filling time, how's your day been so far?
Honestly, pretty productive.
Yeah.
Yeah, got some work done. Crossed some cute animals.
Oh,
Made some bank by selling off my fruit. Pretty standard day.
I haven't touched Animal Crossing since.
I haven't seen it recently.
FF7 remake.
That makes sense. Yeah,
got added.
We were actually wondering a little bit. We were kind of discussing your upcoming match, and wondering if you had been training in
grinding offline
chamber or something. Yeah.
I've definitely played some, but I'm gonna say I would say that Zelda is the Goku and I'm Vegeta, but calling me Vegeta is giving me way too much credit. I'm probably the Yamcha in this situation.
I don't understand any of that, but I'm going to laugh anyway.
Someone in chat will understand.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Ooh, going for the anti-fairy skip right there.
Yeah, he also went for the fast Meyer exit, but unfortunately got sniped, so he's already down a heart and a half. Which honestly isn't the worst thing rolling into Swamp here.
We're not talking about DBFZ Oase. Yeah, and Swamp is just an easy, relatively easy and not deadly. What's a better word for not deadly?
I can't think of one.
Peaceful? No. Safe? Yeah, Kaz. Sure, we'll go. Let's just say safe. Tame,
Safe-ish.
timid, harmless. Harmless is probably.
I mean, I will say people have died here.
Yes, this is very true.
There are several corpses of Link that are littered throughout this dungeon. A lot of them in Argus's room, probably.
Right. Usually, a lot of the times when stuff like that happens is when you get sort of lottoed at the beginning before you even get in. A lot of the enemies outside of the dungeon do a lot more damage than inside.
Yes,
Running into like the high knocks as you're exiting mire, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said, it's really not the worst situation to be rolling in here with a heart and a half, because it can be a lot less.
Yeah.
Coming in there, but so hopefully you see a nice 0 cycle coming out of Doom here.
Well, started off interesting, but
or he'll just let go of the
has a
controller.
chance. Yeah, had a decentish chance to recover, but
and see, he's already at 4.5 hearts. See, this fight starts going sideways, and yeah, the Swammola especially, Azure.
yeah, absolutely.
Especially because there's you can't even see that one coming.
Swammola.
Yeah.
You're just randomly dashing, and then you get hit for. Did they do 4 or did they just do 3?
I want to say 4, but I might be wrong. Either way, it's a lot. All right, chat is seeming to confirm 4. Dashing through the nope. All right, so while we're in the longest cutscene of the game, I'll talk a little bit about Ice Palace coming up here. There is a potential hard lock spot that we'll be watching out for here. I'm actually kind of curious to see if Doom's just going to play it completely safe and just go ahead and mirror and swim his happy ass to Ice Palace.
Nope, I'm gonna keep putting us with a show.
Cool.
So
I'm down with it.
A small potential for an extended 80.
Yeah.
But he does not hard lock, so we are good.
Does not miss the 11 pixel window to transition that screen there. But Ice Palace is a pretty snappy segment. It goes by pretty quickly, and it is not without its share of danger and clips as well, as we're seeing here already.
Doom's still going with the old school bomb toss there for escaping out of the back of Bomble Floor instead of with the Samaria.
Yeah, I still do that too, and maybe I need to reconsider, because as we're seeing here, you do have a few blocks that you can reuse. You've got enough magic to use 4, I think, if you don't use any other magic in the dungeon.
Right. So you'd have 3 shots.
Just using one of those for escaping out of that room there can be a pretty decent strat. But some runners do like to keep the menu buffers for that room to do their one frame movement. So it's just kind of a personal preference thing.
Yeah. You also, the thing that I was more thinking on was that him getting the bomb slug drop meant that he is still on good pace with his bombs and not having to make any detours.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Had he not gotten it, if he had done the Samaria escape from Bomble Floor, then he would have been fine, but otherwise he would have had to pick up a bomb at some point, likely in the swamp itself.
Alright, so Gold Stair, still scary, but we do have a lot more health here than we normally would in an NMG run or something, and that was just a perfect double poke Cold Stair fight from Doomtap there, very nicely executed.
It's really only like 1 additional heart container, but you take a lot more damage going through Ice Palace having to do the NMG route than doing the AD route.
Ice Palace, please.
Good lord. Got some punnery going on.
This is what it's come to.
So, a little more to bleed some time. You've been making any working the kitchen, making anything during our COVID lockdown that you wouldn't have done?
I've
at other
definitely
times?
eaten rice with more things than I ever imagined thought were possible. Just like, does this go on rice? Whatever. It's going on. Who cares?
I made the mistake of I looked in my pantry and saw that I had a bunch of rice, and then realized that, oh, this is rice that I'd bought like 4 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, we're not making anything with this rice, so now I have to just wait until I get enough stuff that I can justify a big trip to the store again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got all restocked the other day, so
Yep, that's
pretty set. Feeling good about it.
Yeah, almost out of all that stock that I made about 2.5 weeks ago. So gonna need to buy me another big old whole chicken to make some more stock.
Hell yeah, dude.
Currently seeing Doom getting into TR.
Really clean. Holy moly.
Backdoor entry in here. Yeah, an excellent TR mirror wrap there.
Oh, he even did the right menu from mirror to bombs. My man.
I mean,
I know. It's such a small, stupid thing.
well, no. To me, right, so like in NMG, there's mirror to fire rod that you do all the time. Right, and so you sort of have that done. That menu from mirror to bomb, I consider it our mirror to fire rod menu for this category. So everyone should be doing that, because we do that menu several times. We do it there, and we do it getting into ice rod.
I think maybe. Oh, okay. But isn't that just? Is that right left up or right left down or right down left?
From mirror, it's right down left.
Yeah, it's just a super awkward menu.
Yeah, it's a weird because you're constantly looping in the menu. It's not something that you intuitively think about, but it's the same idea. It's just something that you do enough. You have to do enough in this run that I feel like
yeah.
Just learn the menu, folks.
Yeah, and see, that's the other. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made for doing
just
4 right
spamming
presses,
right,
because I think some people will probably end up being faster. We just saw some nice tech there from Doomtap.
Did he do the ALttP?
Yeah, he did the A press, the ALttP there. Shout outs to True Blue, I think. I don't know that had actually. I mean, it had been discovered that you could menu to bypass the bunny unmorph animation.
I had not heard anything about the A press to
I'm sure we're going to find out that like Scudge has been doing it since like 2005 or something, or 2015 or something.
Yeah, Yuzu made a Twitter post about it 6 years ago or something.
Right.
It's not even a half A press, George. Just a light tap.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I actually thought I saw Doom do a different menu for the Ice Palace entry, like doing the bomb clip in IP1. He did 4 rights there, but when he was going into Turtle Rock, he did the quote unquote correct one, the 3 move.
Right,
menu.
but you do that menu move. You do that menu 3 different times. When you're inside ice, when you're getting ice rod, and when you're getting into TR. So
yeah, so you might as well just do it and practice it and get faster at it.
This is my pet peeve. Learn the right menu, do the right menu.
All right, we are nearing the end of this run here. We are going into Ganon's Tower next, but that is not actually the last dungeon that we have to do. We did skip over Aghanim's Tower. Nice gold.
Nice gold there from Doom.
507?
Yes, a fat 507.
Solid. His sum of best is 109.25 now. Nice.
I don't know if Doom updates the gold sheet for all Denny's.
Boing. Former world record holder of this category, Boing.
I was looking at the gold sheet. What wisdom did Boyne?
He says, I still don't do anything. Yeah.
The pod menus can be, since the pod menus are so close to what you do in NMG, it can be hard to break out of that habit, especially if you're like bouncing between the categories and stuff. A lot of times during hammer jump, I end up doing, because in NMG I just go one direction because it's the same no matter what. So the first time I go that direction 3 times, and then that direction again 3 times again. So it ends up working out to 5 mini moves when it could have been 4. And so yeah, when you're thinking about stuff like hammer jump, it can be easy to just default.
What? Did you see that slash? What was that about?
Yeah, I don't really know what the slash
I just
was
accidentally
for.
pressed B instead of Y. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's like a weird timing mechanism or anything like that.
Yeah, I looked at the gold sheet. If this was correct, that was a 6-second gold from Doom.
Damn, son. Yeah, it looked like a pretty solid D-Rock. We saw that the entry clip was very hot, and that's honestly where a lot of the time loss can be in that dungeon, because
entry clip
rock is whatever.
Oh, Helma,
unlucky dude,
giving him the business. That's why I like to. Okay, that's why I like to. I like to make my dash up much closer to the right side of that.
Yeah.
Since you're going to get more of an angle, knocking that Helma away.
Yeah. Mini Helma was angry about having those arrows stolen out from under him. Punished Doom appropriately. I guess we should mention that Doom did not opt for the old man refill here, so and did take some damage from that fall, so he's gonna have an interesting climb. Oh man, he went for it though, so can't really fault him too much as long as an attempt was made.
I mean, you can, but we're not going to. We'll see if he decides to. Yeah, just taking the safe, or the safe-ish. There is a even safer version, but it loses you a little time. But not taking the full NMG for floor 2. Situational awareness, realizing that he didn't get that spike room quite as good. Nice Ganon Ball Z there.
And Gauntlet here is where we really have to start paying attention, and where things can really start going wrong if you get bad RNG in any of these rooms.
That was a hot G2.
Yeah, that was very
almost got a pretty hot poke dash there.
Taking 1 hit here so far. It's on 4 hearts, going to switch to the fire rod for G5 here. Ain't taking no chances with the arrow shot, which is a smart decision. We'll see if we can get 2 1 cycles in a run. I'm sorry, no, he
had a 2 cycle on his.
2 cycle, that's
two cycles. Ammo showing, even with the fire rod, it is not guaranteed. Yeah. Will we call that Landmo Black Swan?
Starring Natalie Portman. This room is low-key one of the hardest in GT. Looks like you got a nice torch dash there, though.
Yeah, especially as a newer runner, not quite understanding how long range your torch actually is, or your lamp, I should say, actually is, to be able to squeeze some extra time, some extra frames, so that you can get an easier torch dash.
I mean, I can definitely sympathize with those newer runners though, because the game kind of messes with you a little bit, because the distance from which you can light those torches is actually different depending on which direction you're facing to light them. So the game's not even like giving you something consistent to go off of, where you know that I can be this far away and actually hit the torch.
Yeah.
So.
And I've practiced that room tons because I'm awful at that the lamp dash there, and like get the first pot that you pick up. Like I'm trying to squeeze time by diagonaling around the center spot there, and I get to the first pot and I'm just a little too high, and so I'm grabbing the pot, but I'm not grabbing anything. I'm just
nice line up here. Let's see if we can get a triple.
Very good triple.
Get 3 hits. I don't know about this RNG. He's gonna have to get lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, he did, but kind of didn't. The pattern was a little awkward for him to get that last one in there, but a solid 3 cycle coming out anyway. Very nice.
Aga 2 has kind of a truncated cycle. The real Aga 2, it's guaranteed, then 2 non-guaranteed, then 1 guaranteed, and then it repeats from there instead of the 3 non-guaranteed. So after you get the first 3, Aga could just be like, screw you. No chance.
Yeah.
Doom showing off his
ooh, nice. Oh, nice setup. Yeah, he was talking about that a little bit before the run, that he was trying to land on that very particular position there to both get the quick warp and also be able to just turn right and slash and get the barrier out of the way.
Yeah.
Nice little setup there. I hadn't seen that before.
It's a safer version of the sort of walk towards the hole strategy you might see people do. It's kind of halfway between the ultra safe go around on the right side and try to hit the quick warp there. Nice chest turn. So yeah, I definitely, if you're ever nervous about that, you'd say you're on a hot pace and don't want to accidentally walk into to Ganon and kill your run. That's definitely something I would consider going for.
I'll definitely have to have Doom give me the deets on that. Yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Not bad. He tried his best. Still putting on a show.
The deets, I actually did write up the deets in our lovely AD hut.
Oh, okay, kind of getting some
unfortunate spear throws there.
Yeah,
does get the refill, but it's not going to be a huge boon because he didn't get any fairy drop at the beginning. So he's still going to have to wait for this heart refill.
Now we come to the major RNG fest of this category.
The best part of the run, without a doubt. It's the thing that makes AD. Putting this massive coin flip at the very end.
I personally love it. I love pulling that slot machine. Just being able to play the game for an hour.
Anders still praying for the 15 for... I mean, this honestly, probably the least egregious time for Anders to be praying for
to ask
15.
for it, yeah, for sure.
but still thinking
Trying to get
I'm
that free
going-
dinner.
Yeah, still hoping for that free bin din. Well, already off to a hot start. And the 15's dead. Sorry, Anders.
We tried. Nice fire rod dash. Little retaliation for the blue balls.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting fire with fire. Just 2 so far, right?
Oh no, he said 3.
Oh, he got it through 3. Wait, what?
Yeah. Now we're
Oh,
on
okay,
4.
okay, I get it. I missed that one.
Yeah, he had 2 in the first, 2 in the second. I believe we're at the maximum of 7.
Hashtag no math.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Rude. Okay.
Ended up with the patented Duck 6.
Always 6. But that's it. That's all the dungeons. We did it.
Mhm. One final interminable text cutscene coming up here. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you to go rescue Zelda. Which you've already done.
Yeah, Saha needs to
Oh yeah, sorry.
refresh his Twitter feed or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess there's 2 things, right? Because Aga, you rescued Zelda, and then Aga put Zelda back in the crystal.
Mhm.
So maybe Saha knows something more than we do.
Or he's just a senile old man.
Mm-hmm.
Nice ring dashes here from Doom. Pretty standard 1-in-1 opening here. It's really nice in this category that you have full hearts and don't really have too much risk in taking a hit here. You're always going to be pretty healthy for the fight. So we see what kind of RNG we're going to get from Ganon here with the warps. Supposedly these are 50-50. I'm not sure how many got. Looked like about 4-ish.
Yeah. Nice double hit to start.
Ooh, yes. Very nice. Can't even go for the cave spin.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Ganon. But pretty standard phase 4 finish that we'll be expecting to come out from Doom here. And with that, he will be moving on to face the winner of the matchup between myself and Andy. And also, more importantly, he will be maintaining both the perfect prediction brackets for myself and himself.
Ooh.
Get your GGs in chat. Nice run, Doom. Pretty sure that he will not be joining us for an interview if I know him and he stays true to his form. I totally expect, but we do appreciate him finishing out the run, taking the victory, putting on a good show for us all. So give him a hearty congratulations and give him a follow too. He streams a lot.
Extend the laurel and hearty handshake.
Wow, what a deep cut. But yeah, do stick around. We do have another race that will be coming up after this one. I believe it
should be on this same channel, so don't touch that dial.
Yeah.
We have just gone gotten confirmation that the races will be flexible. They want this on CSR1, but the stream will be going down for a little bit when we're done with this, as the next restreamer will be restreaming locally. So, because the stream is currently handled through a remote box, but we're swapping the stream over to a local stream. So, the stream's going to go down. We're not going to rate anyone. Just stay on this page.
Don't touch that dial.
Cool.
Yep.
Hot race between Chexhuman and Blaine, former world record holder. Get your exclamation point Blaine's in chat with comms by the lovely and talented Anders Likes Chicken.
Yeah, definitely not one you want to miss. Chex is just so damn good at glitches that, like, yeah, maybe he hasn't put in the most amount of time into NMG to have like that foundation for the other parts, but honestly, he just makes up for so much of it by being that damn good at clipping around everywhere, and is just super consistent, and really has improved his time quite a bit since this tournament has started. Obviously, Blaine, no slouch, being a former world record holder himself, has a really good time. But as we've seen, this category is very volatile, and anything can happen. It's dangerous out there.
Josh was a world record holder when no one was paying attention.
Yeah, he snuck in the middle of the night like a thief. He just stole it out from under us. But yeah, do stick around and be sure to catch that match. Kozler, my friend, my man, it was an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Comms with you.
Right, I'm just trying to before we end this, I'm just trying to figure out the procedures for this for a stream handover like this.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Alright, so I've just been told we cannot have a seamless countdown handover, so we will be going on the end scene, but don't as you know, as Mkos has already said, don't touch that dial. We will be right back with the next match in about 15 minutes. That's going to be losers bracket round 2. It's going to be Chexhuman versus Speedrun. I probably mispronounced Speedrun. How are you supposed to pronounce that? Sorry. So
Blaine.
Brain. Alright.
I was saying Blaine.
But yeah, we'll be right back, and as usual, I'll let the commentators have the final words here.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, George, for the restream, as always. And thanks to the fine folks at ZSR for putting these on. It is such a comfy, chill experience, and we absolutely love it here. And we thank them for having us and letting us take over for the next couple of weeks here.
Have a good night.
Night, y'all.